This is Real News Media TV, coverage you can trust. Please like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates. Good afternoon, my Real News Media TV family. Welcome back to the channel for another news update for January 10, 2023. And in the news this afternoon, a cop denied a bail in $3 million all theft case. The police corporal implicated in a multi-million-dollar cooking oil theft was on Monday denied bail when he appeared in the St. Catherine Parish Court. Detective Corporal Maurice Whittingham, 35, who is charged with robbery with aggravation and kidnapping, is to return to court on February 7. Whittingham is jointly charged with a 34-year-old construction worker, Michael Daly, who is facing similar charges. However, no bail application was made for the latter. During the bail application, Whittingham's lawyer, Vincent Wellesley, argued that his client is not a flight risk and had a constitutional right to bail. He also told the court that his client is diabetic and requires medication twice daily. However, the judge turned down the application after the prosecutor submitted that there was interference with witnesses in the matter. Allegations are that on Saturday, December 17, 2022, Daly and Whittingham stopped a delivery truck laden with cooking oil valued at more than $3 million along the Spanish Town bypass in St. Catherine. It is alleged that Whittingham approached the driver of the truck and asked about his data entry record and took him to a Honda motor car. The truck, along with the sidemen, was then driven to an unknown location and the empty truck later recovered. Investigations led to Daly and Whittingham being charged. Family dismisses speculation as mom and the teenage son killed in crash. Traumatic screams heard over the telephone during a crash on Monday, which claimed the life of a mother and her teenage son, were what alerted friends and the family that something had gone horribly wrong. Tamika Parrott, 40, and her 17-year-old son, Jelani Wright, died when the white BMW Parrott was driving crashed near the entrance of the P.J. Patterson Highway along Mandela Highway sometime after 2 a.m. Parrott's 12-year-old son is the lone survivor of the single-vehicle crash as the family made their way from Olympic Gardens in St. Andrew to their home in Cedar Grove, St. Catherine. Kathleen Sadler, Parrott's mother, was a shadow of herself when the news visited her home on Grassquit Glade in Kingston 11 on Monday evening as she tried to muster the strength to speak. "She's jovial. She was my daughter and best friend. Anywhere she's going is me and her. She owns a bar, and sometimes if you see liquor in her vehicle, she take a liquor, but she carry it in her bar, go put it down," Sadler said. The family says the widely circulated footage of the crash scene wrongly paints a picture that Parrott was drinking or driving under the influence of alcohol. "She was on her phone with someone and the accident occurred, and the pitney dem a scream," Sadler said. She added that the person then called someone and told them to call Parrott, as it appeared as if something terrible had happened. Parrott's 12-year-old son answered the phone and confirmed their worst fears. "We just left around Robin. She hosts up by Boulevard and come here. When we leave Boulevard and come at Olympic Gardens, she said she soon ready to leave. And me say, when you're ready to leave, just shout me up," Sadler said of their last conversation. She described her grandson as a talented footballer who represented St. George's College in schoolboy football. The fourth former was expected to start the Easter term on Monday morning. "He's a nice grandson. Him love girls. Me no know nothing really bad about him. Him no give trouble at school, but him love girls," Sadler said, probably the only time she smiled throughout the interview. Sadler kept glancing at her 12-year-old grandson, checking to see if he was okay, as he sat surrounded by children within his age group. The 12-year-old was in the front and tried to get help, a relative said. The family has not recovered from the death of Parrott's first son, Malik Jamesy Boy Granell, who died suddenly on September 9, 2018. He too was 17 years old. As you can see, Malik's picture is on the wall. The two of our sons died at 17 years old on the 9th of the month, September and January, preparing for school, a family friend said. "I see people posting on social media that a Campari bottle was there on the scene. She wasn't drinking. Even if she drank, it's not Campari. She don't drink Campari any at all. She never drunk. It just says she gone," a family friend said, driving home her point that drunk driving was not a factor. There was a large gathering of persons along the roadway at the Grassquit Glade on Monday, seeking to help console the grieving family and to pay their respects. Kingston Mayor Delroy Williams was at the family home with other colleagues from the offices of the Kingston and the St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, where Pierto was employed. Williams told the news that Jamaica is a very jovial person, very community-oriented, very cooperative and committed to what she does. Generally a nice and a sociable person. Everyone here knows her. At the KSAMC is the same. She is a pleasure to be around, very committed to her children and took care of them. He said that a moment of silence will be observed at Tuesday's council meeting. Generally, the mood of the staff is very low and the persons are hurt, Williams added. The ferry police are investigating the crash. Road fatalities last year surpassed the 2021 figures by 0.2%. As at December 31, some 488 persons had been killed in 425 fatal collisions on the nation's roadways. The year 2021 recorded 487 road fatalities. Report on treatment of Jamaican farm workers in Canada expected by February. The task force established to investigate allegations of poor treatment of Jamaican farm workers in Canada is expecting to submit its report to Labour Minister Carl Samuda next month. The report was expected in November, but according to Chair of the task force, Helene Davis-White, her team has not yet completed its analysis of the findings.
We got the raw results from the survey in December, and we were awaiting the actual report from the survey so that we could complete the entire report. With that we haven't yet gotten. I think the office with responsibility said that we should get that during the course of this week. Once we get that, then we will finalize the report, because we're looking at developing findings and recommendations coming out of the survey report. I don't even want to say that until we have completed, because we're dealing with some advocacy groups that want to say anything is taken out of context. So I prefer to await the entire document being finalized and then being released thereafter. I'm expecting, if we do get the survey report during the course of this week, that the final document, I was hoping we would have completed by the end of December, but I expect that the final report we should be able to have it the last week in January or first week in February.
Reid and the co-accused to return to court on April 3. Former Education Minister Ruel Reid and the former Caribbean Maritime University President Fritz Pinoch, along with their three co-accused, are to return to court on April 3, pending the outcome of a judicial review. The new mentioned date was set on Monday morning in the Kingston and the St. Andrew Parish Court. Reid, his wife Sharon, and their daughter Sharelle, Pinoch and the Jamaica Labour Party councillor for the Brownstown Division, Kim Brown Lawrence, all appeared for the mention. The date was agreed on by attorneys representing the Financial Investigations Division, and the five accused, after Senior Parish Judge Jacqueline Wilcott noted that it was better to have them return after the judicial review. The hearing for that review is set for February 6 and 7. The Supreme Court is to review a court ruling that Reid and his co-accused have a case to answer over their alleged corrupt actions. Chief Parish Judge Chester Crooks had ruled last February that the accused, who are implicated in a multi-million-dollar fraud case, had a case to answer. The judge's ruling was in response to a preliminary objection raised by Reid and Pinoch on the basis that the charges against them should be nullified, as the FID, which leveled the charges, had no authority in law to arrest or charge them. Reid and Pinoch took issue with the decision after Crooks declared that he was recusing himself from the trial because of a perceived conflict of interest and sought a judicial review. It was later revealed that the conflict was in relation to the judge's attendance at Monroe College while Reid was head boy. Justice Wilcott said that an April date will give all parties involved sufficient time to prepare after the outcome of the judicial review. The five have been charged with a range of offenses, including breaches of the Corruption Prevention Act, conspiracy to defraud, misconduct in a public office at a common law, and the breaches of the Proceeds of Crime Act. Investigators have alleged that nearly $50 billion of public funds were diverted to the personal use of Reid and Pinoch through several schemes, including one that mirrors the Career Advancement Program Youth Employment Solutions Program. The FID is being represented by attorneys Richard Small and Sean Stedman, while Hugh Wildman and Caroline Chuck are two of the attorneys representing the 5 accused. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Select all for daily news updates.